We're in downtown Toronto in the Bay Street corridor in my client's fully renovated condo. We really managed to create this beautiful, dreamy oasis in the sky. The owner is very stylish. She has great taste. Her only real objective here was to create a space where her family and her could enjoy when she's in town, and also for it to be within a very neutral, restrained color palette, which is music to my ears. I was hired immediately after the client purchased the condo. When I first walked in, I was pleasantly surprised by the square footage, but everything else was very sad. It definitely needed a huge overhaul. In terms of finishes, everything was gutted. It also needed to be reimagined in terms of the layout because the layout itself felt dated. When you walk in from the foyer, you have a fully open concept space, living room, dining room, kitchen. In the living room, we really wanted to stay within that restrained color palette, but I wanted to add a lot of custom details, custom finishes to really warm the space up. So on the one wall, I did beautiful built-ins where the TV hangs. It also gives her a beautiful area to display all her beautiful things. And even though it's a smaller space, it's a condo-sized living room, I used regular size furniture because that actually will make a space feel so much larger and so much more comfortable. When it comes to the soft furnishings, we really wanted to introduce a lot of different textures, even some subtle patterns on the pillows. That is what makes a neutral space really pop and made sure that the space didn't fall flat. You will notice that the entire space is enveloped in these beautiful sheers. It gives you privacy, but it also lets a ton of light in. It also managed to conceal some views that weren't as desirable, so it was dual purpose. The dining space is a really special space. It's where she wanted to entertain her family when she was in town, so I really wanted to create a really large dining table. Previously, what they had was 2 living spaces and then a tiny little dining table in the middle. So we actually wanted this to be a full space of its own. What I love about here is there's a sculptural element in the light fixture. It grabs your eye. It really gives this subtle, moody lighting, especially at night. I definitely wanted to make a statement with the art. This particular painting here is this beautiful woman. She's quite the vibe. And then I also wrapped this reeded panel. So it goes all the way from this wall into the kitchen to really unify both spaces. In terms of layout, the kitchen probably got the biggest transformation. It was a relatively big condo, but the kitchen itself was quite small. It also had upper cabinets that hung down that hindered any type of sight lines through the condo. The client really wanted a white kitchen, which is great. I love that. It's fresh, it's timeless, but it does run the risk of being boring. So I wanted to incorporate a lot of custom details, a lot of different finishes that were artfully selected to make sure that it remained elevated. So a few things that I added the glass cabinet for display purposes. It was backlit, so it adds this beautiful glow, especially at night. I also did a slab backsplash, which is great. It's porcelain, so it gives the durability that she was after, but also that classic feel of a marble. I also relocated the fridge and freezer to the opposite wall over here. And why I did that is to free up some counter space. And then it added this really great feature. I did hidden appliances behind this beautiful oak paneling. There's a pantry on one side, and then on the other side, there's a closet that opens to the foyer that gives them some extra storage for coats or shoes or whatever they have. The front foyer, I really wanted the space to feel special and a little bit different than the rest of the condo. I really wanted to activate that wall for 2 reasons. 1, I think visually it can add a lot to the space, but 2, for functionality. So I added this beautiful reeded wood on either side. On the one side, I integrated some hooks for her everyday coats. And then on the other side, I wanted to give her some type of storage, somewhere where her keys can land, and then also a little mohair custom bench that went underneath. So it all worked together, function and beauty. When we enter into the bedroom, I really wanted it to feel like you were in this dream. I wanted it to feel ethereal. I wanted it to feel light and airy. So all the finishes are very muted in there. I also found these beautiful sconces that I hung on either side of the bed. I think that it allows us to free up some space on the nightside table, but also just is such a structural feature that you notice right when you walk into the room. We added a ton of custom cabinetry in the principal suite. So on either side of the bed, I did custom nightstands, and then I also managed to incorporate a little writing desk that she uses quite often, and it really activates every square inch in that room. Speaking of custom cabinets, the walk-in closet was something that the client was really adamant on, which is funny because it was such a small little space that I had to work with. but she really wanted it to feel like her own little retail store. So I was very much up for the challenge. I hated how it was very narrow, that hallway. So what I did is I actually added these display cabinets on the exterior that were outward facing into the hallway that open and close. It's backlit again, and it's an area where she can store her beautiful purses, her jewelry, and it really becomes a special moment in the condo. The principal bath is probably the second space that got the biggest overhaul. Before, they had a small little shower in the corner. They had a corner tub, which is dated and gives me a bit of an allergic reaction. So what I did is I gutted the whole thing. We really started from scratch in there. I did a huge walk-in shower, and the back material, it's sintered stone, but it's in this really dreamy pattern that draws your eye in. She wanted somewhere to put her makeup on in the morning and do her hair, so we incorporated that vanity space. And then on the other side, we mimicked that same reeded material on the vanity, so everything felt very cohesive. The guest bedroom, we still wanted it to be cohesive to the rest of the space, so we stayed within the neutral palette, but we wanted it to have a personality of its own and read a bit more masculine. So that's exactly what we did. We leaned into more of a black and white color scheme in there. We have this beautiful architectural piece for the console table, and also I did a gallery wall there. If you really look closely, I'm trying to hide one of the access panels that we could not remove, we couldn't really work around. So instead, we created this beautiful, eclectic feeling gallery wall. It concealed an eyesore, but also had such visual impact. For the guest bath, we also wanted it to read a bit more masculine, so we did concrete look tile on the floor. We also did this beautiful marble, so it has that nice tension between the two. One of the things that was a non-negotiable for me is I really don't enjoy an alcove tub that has any type of plasticky looking front. So what I did instead was have an undermount tub that was clad in stone. So it really gave that custom built-in look. I also added some beautiful tile on the wall that was soldier stacked all the way across. So it had a ton of different design elements that made the space feel very interesting. I think it's very important in a condo to utilize every square inch, even when it comes to that patio, so I really wanted to activate that space. She wanted somewhere to go outside and have her coffee in the morning, so we created this little outdoor oasis. I lined the entirety of the patio with these beautiful hedges. I created the illusion of a hedge, and then we added the dining table in the middle, really still light and bright, so it adds to the cohesion from indoors out. She is the dream client. I was very spoiled with her because she was very hands-off for the most part throughout the process. She really trusted me with her home. But when she came in, it's the best reaction that you can ever imagine. I mean, having someone trust you with their home and then them coming in after months of not being here and telling you how much they enjoy it and how much they enjoy using it is the most rewarding feeling in the world.